these were not, unless it's on the agenda, we don't allow.
It's on the agenda, and I'm gonna allow it.
Well, you know, council can overrule that, because I have a problem with doing that. I want to see the whole record at once. And so, because I think it'd be beneficial to be able to read what was printed at the time when we take that testimony.
And didn't we ask Mr. Fagley to come and to kind of meet with us and go through this with us, and he didn't want to do that?
That's coming. No, actually, that's the next step. What they're trying to do is get us all the information so that when he does, we can ask him questions based on the information that they're gathering for us, right? Isn't that?
Yeah. I mean,
And that's gonna happen. That's next steps, I think.
there's no intent here to.
I haven't agreed to that. How do you know it's gonna happen?
Well, you'll have the opportunity.
I thought you wanted to do that.
So we're proposing a process, and then just to sort of wrap that up, the final step in the process would be, once you have all that information and taken the testimony, provide direction to staff and the city attorney to come back, basically as to the substance of an interpretation, and then we would do the wordsmithing and bring it back to you, and then we would amend or adopt, and have that discussion at that time. So that's the proposal that's going from staff and the city.
Well, and that's all reasonable, that proposal. The issue is, we need to be flexible with the different sides in the community. And we have the author sitting right here. You don't want to hear from him. That is so contrary to the two sides coming together and having a free exchange of thought and conversation. Let me finish. For it to be in this controlled environment, set up by city staff, exactly how it's going to be presented is not exactly the best way for two sides to come together.
So you want us to be uninformed when
No,
we're...
I am completely fine about that process that Damien just set forth. But I'm also fine with him coming and just laying out a brief explanation of what his intent was. There's nothing wrong with hearing that.
I don't have a problem with that.
I want all the information.
Yeah,
I agree with
I thought that too. So why, that tells me, if we don't want to do that, thank you, but if we don't want to do that, tells me that there is not an openness for the two sides to come together. I'm challenging you on this.
He's welcome to come up and talk. That's fine. I think that it should have been announced. I think that it should have been,
Both sides should have been invited.
Both sides should have been invited, the public should have been invited, so I think there should be a conversation about this.
I think it's a work session. I have no problem with Mr. Fagley coming.
Other people have. I mean, this is not, what I'm suggesting right now is not out of the ordinary. We've had people come up and participate.
Yes, we have.
We have.
I guess what I'm concerned with is revisionist understanding. And that's why I would prefer to have the information that was in front of the voters, because it's the voters' understanding, not the petitioner's understanding. You know, prior to what I just heard, I thought it was the petitioner's understanding that the court or we were supposed to interpret based on. From what we were just told, it is the voters' understanding at the time they cast their vote.
True, and it's all the marketing information that the voters got, all the stuff that was communicated.
And so,
yeah, that's all reasonable, but it's also reasonable to hear, just to hear. I mean, nobody's forcing any decision down our necks.
Are we allowed to ask questions?
Why not?
No, that's what I just don't know if we're just gonna get an explanation or if we're allowed to converse.
I have, the better we convert, the more
You're
we
asking
converse,
about
the better.
conversing?
Yeah. So we just, Dan, do you have a?
Sure.
Have a seat.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Is this the first time you've sat at the table?
It certainly is. Is it okay to use this chair?
That's the hot one.
Yeah.
That's the hot one.